Looking at a 2015 Denali. This has got the 6.2, but we're going to be putting an AC stretch belt on today. Pretty easy job. First things first, we're going to get this upper air intake off. You got the crankcase filter or crankcase ventilator on this side, and you got one on this side. Push the plugs in, pull them loose. 8mm to pull each of the bands off. You got one there and one there. Then you can just remove that unit, exposing your serpentine belt. Now, get a half-inch drive ratchet. You can use a pry bar, but it's going to be counterclockwise. Gonna pull your tension, and then you can get your serpentine belt off. Coming under the truck, if you don't have a lift, it's okay. Those first two at the front were 15mm. Those two smaller ones are 10mm. Get this little skid plate out of the way. It's plastic. Now, this exposes where your AC belt would have gone. You got a power steering pulley on this side, 3 belts in total. You got a power steering, comes off of the crankshaft. You got your serpentine belt that comes to the front, but you got an AC belt that goes between the two. It's a stretch belt. You don't have a tensioner. So, a little bit of a funky way to add this thing. You're going to need a 24mm. You're going to put that belt around the back side of the crankshaft there. And then you're going to put it onto the right spot on the AC compressor on the left side, and we'll show you that. But put it behind there, and you see how it's kind of off to the back. And that 24mm, you're going to rotate counterclockwise again, just turning your engine over, and it's going to pull and stretch that belt onto where it's supposed to go. Little tip, run you some zip ties around there, and it'll hold it on where it needs to go, because it's really hard a little bit with your hands to get it to actually stretch on. So little tip, use the zip ties. It's going to make it easier. Again, 24mm to rotate it counterclockwise, and you're going to be able to hold that on there as you turn it around. And this is what your finished product will look like. An AC belt fully installed. At that point, time to reverse your process. Not much else to it. You're going to go back to the top if you want to, but you can go ahead and put your skid plates on at the bottom. Go back to the top, put your serpentine belt back on, and reinstall your air intake, and you've successfully put an AC belt on a 6.2 or 5.3.